Today, I'm going to go over how to do some intermediate Microsoft Word using style sheets and also putting in a couple of graphics and pictures into a Microsoft Word document. So we're going to start off with this. You can download this file, and if you double click on the file, it opens up in Microsoft Word. Now, the first thing I normally always do is make sure that I give myself lots of window space to work with, because I'm going to be opening up panes on each side of this. So you want to give yourself lots of room. I'm going to first make sure that I'm working in inches. You could work in centimeters, and that would be fine, but I've already decided I'm going to work in inches. So the way I do this is I simply go up to Word and into Preferences. Preferences is right there, and then double click on it, or just click on it once, let it go. And then when you go to General, right here is Show Measurement Units. So I'm just going to put that as inches, and then I'm going to say close that up. The next thing I also need to do is have a ruler, and I don't have one right now. So under View, I'm going to go to Ruler, and that'll show me the ruler. So the ruler's up top here now, and I'm going to set up the document so that my document has the margins that are correct. There is no really perfect right or wrong on margins, but I think what you see here is that you'd want less top and bottom margin and maybe a little more on each side, so it's easier for the reader, and the length of the line is not as much. So I'm going to put 0.75 here, and then I'm going to hit my tab key. The tab key just brings it down, and I don't have to hit delete or anything. I can then just go 0.75 right there. I'll put in 1 inch and 1 inch. So that'll readjust the margins. I'm going to readjust the margin for the whole document. The weird thing about Word is that you could actually do it from this point forward. So you could have margins on a first page and then go to a second page and say, oh, listen, different margins on all the pages after the first page. So that's what that is for right there. There we go. Margins are all set now. I'm going to do this by grabbing just one of these paragraphs. I'm going to turn it into Cambria. We'll see what that looks like. That's a nice font. And I'm going to make it 11 points in size. I'm also going to do a bit of an indent. You have to understand that this bottom portion, this is 1, we'll go here. This is going to be 1, this will be 2, and this will be 3. So the first one controls the first line of a paragraph. The second one controls everything after the first line. And then the third one controls both first line and all the other lines. So I just want to do an indent of about 3 to 4 characters. You can see I'm about 3 to 4 characters here. That might be better. Let's put it there. Okay. Now, the other thing I'd want to do to this is maybe put a bit of space after, but we can do that later. So let's get the style pane over here. This is the style pane over on the right-hand side, and this is how styles work. So these are called cascading styles, which means that if you have a top-level style, it'll be at this level. If you have a top-level style, it means that it sets up a bunch of stuff about that paragraph, and these are paragraph styles. So it would give you the font and the size of the font. It would also give you space after, space before the paragraph, indents, tab settings. All of those things get recorded, and then you can say, yes, save that as a style. So I've got this kind of set up a little bit, and I'm going to say new style. Now, I'm going to put in my name only so that it sorts all my styles together, and I'm going to call this body copy. Now, I don't want this, I want this to be a top style, so I don't want it based on anything else. So I got to go all the way to the top of this list and say no style. Okay, so now I can say, okay, and down here you'll see that it shows me all the stuff that I did. Remember, it was Cambria 11, here was my first line indent, all that stuff is down here. When I say okay, the style appears over here. You can see the style over here. I'm going to select this entire document with select all. I could have used Command A, hold down Command hit A, select the entire document, and I'm going to apply that style to it. And watch, the whole document will then change automatically. Next, I'm going to make a style for my subheadings. I'm going to go down. I'll find a font for it. And what do you think we should use? Let me see. It doesn't really matter which one of these we use, but I think we'll use Myriad Pro. Now, the reason I'm using Myriad Pro is it's a professional font, which is going to allow me to have a bunch of other settings that I have, right? So I can get a lot more of these, but we'll just go in and we'll use a semi-bold, and that looks kind of nice. So I'm going to unindent, pull this back, first line back, so it matches here. Never go into the gray area. Like, don't go over here. That's in the margins. You want to stay over here. It's like some people put it, sometimes get it back over here, and that's outside of the margin area. So I've got that no margin on it, and I've got it sitting right there. And I'll just blow this up a little bit, make it easier for you to see. Okay, so now I have that selected. I can say new style. Now you can see that what it's saying is this is based on Paul body copy, and then it made these changes. Well, I don't want my subheadings or my headings to have anything to do with the body copy, so I'm going to say no style here also. You'll see it later. Sometimes we want things based on another one. So what I'm doing is I'm just naming my style, subhead 1, and I'm basing it on no style, and it'll be at the same level as the other one. You can see that they are both at the same level. Okay, so now I can go through my document and I can find my subheadings. Scroll down through the document. Oh, I think I might have missed one here. This one. I've missed this one. Okay, and I can scroll down here, get this one. And there's this one. This one here, I'll try to remove this from the thing, but really this figure 3 should come out because I didn't put another figure in. I guess when I was designing this piece, I thought I was going to put a figure in, but I didn't. So you're going to go down through. I know it takes a little bit of time here, but faster than doing it by hand, though, like doing each one. So let's see. We have that one. If we come across any more, we'll just come and do them. I think there's another one in here somewhere, but I think I might be missing it. Yes, this one right here. There we go. All right. So I've got them all now. Okay, so I've got all the subheadings in. Now I need to deal with my bullets. The problem with a bullet right now is it's an asterisk and a period, and or asterisk and a space, I'm sorry. The blue marks right there, remember you can turn the blue marks on and off. That mark says that this is a space. It's a non-printable character, but it does show up to show you for formatting purposes. I want to change this into a bullet and a tab. To make bullets work properly, you need a bullet and a tab. Don't use this bullet up here, because if you use this bullet thing from Microsoft, you have no control over what they look like or anything. It's much more difficult. And also, it doesn't help you when you get to higher end products like InDesign and stuff, where you want to be able to control this stuff very carefully for doing special looks and stuff. So I'm going to go to Find, and I'm going to up here under Edit, and go to Find and Replace. And it brings up this pane. And I'm going to close this off over here. I'm going to blow this up a bit so you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to select this, right click and say copy, and I'm going to paste it in here. Now that has found all these ones I'm going to replace, right? But here I need to say, what am I replacing it with? So I'm going to hold down my Option key, the Option key, and hit the number 8, which gives me that bullet. Now I need to put in a tab right here, a tab, but I can't just hit tab on the keyboard. It doesn't work. So Microsoft gives you all these special characters right here under tab character. I'm going to put that in. I just let go. And you can see that gives me that little roof symbol and a T, which is the tab character that's going to go in there. Now, if I hit replace all, it's going to replace all 16 of these. The problem is that down here in the chart, this asterisk here goes with these asterisks up here that say, where did this material come from, or how was it? What was the assumptions on that number? So we don't want to replace those. So sometimes we do replace all, and later on I'll show you replace all. But in this instance, I'm starting here. You can see it's a different color, and I'm going to just say replace that one, and you can see that it's replaced it with the bullet and the tab character. And then it went to the next one. I want to replace that one. Went to the next one, replace that one. I don't want to replace this one. So I just hit the find character, and I hit the find character again here. And you see it says, I'm going to replace this one. I don't want to replace that one. So I hit find. This one I do want to replace. So I'm going to replace. I'm just hitting the replace button until I get through the ones that I want. And in the end, I have these 3 that didn't get replaced. And that's a nice way of using find and replace effectively. Now I'm going to scroll up and find my bullets. So I can get rid of this for right now. I'll come back to it later. I'm going to find my bullets at the top here. I'm going to open up my style pane because I'm going to use that. So I'm going to grab these a couple bullets. And remember, this is 1. Arrow pointing up is 2, and this bottom's 3. So the top one is first line. All the lines after the first line, the left margin is, and then the bottom is left indent, how far we indent. So I'm going to pull the whole thing over a ways like this. And now what I want to do is get this bullet to come back out over here. So I'm going to take the top one and pull it this way, and you can see that now I've set this up nicely. I can come back and change things later if I want, but for right now, that's good. So I'm going to make a new style. Now, on this style, if Paul body copy changes from Cambria font to Times, let's say, I would want the bullet to change also. So I'm going to leave it based on this. And you can see down here that it's saying Paul body copy, but then with a different set of indents. So I'm going to say Paul bullet 1 in case I make other bullets. Okay, got it. Now, even though I just used this to make it, it is not using that style yet. Look at Paul body copy. It's still the style because see that blue line around it? It's really subtle, but the blue line around it. I have to apply it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all 3 of these and apply bullet 1 to it. Now I just got to go down through my document, find any bullets that I have. That's not a bullet. This one is. Oh, that one's a bullet too. There we go. So that's a quick and easy way of doing the bullets, right? All right, so let's go deal with the chart. Everybody's worst nightmare is the chart. The problem with this chart is that there's so much type up here that if I try to set this, I'm not going to have enough room to get everything one under another, okay? So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to take the entire chart from here to here. And remember I said I used Myriad for a reason. They have a condensed font, which means that the type is thinner. Like there's actually been designed to be thinner. And you'll see that what happens when I do it is it thins up a bit, okay? And without even making the type smaller, I can now fit more of it on the line. I'm going to take these first two lines, and I'm going to have to use a center tab. Now, the center tab is way over here. You can see it right there. I'm going to get to there where it looks like that. It's an arrow pointing upright. That's a center tab. So I have 3 columns that I got to deal with. So I'm going to go over here, 1. And you can see that I've lined these 2 up. And then I'm going to line this one up. And then I'm going to line this one up. Okay, so there we go. All right. And the other thing I might do is actually pull this whole thing in. So I'm going to pull this back, and I'm going to pull this whole thing in so I've indented a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to squeeze them over. I just want to get as much room over there as I can. All right, that looks good. Now the rest of it's pretty simple. I pull this across. I'm going to pull this back. Oh, I got to line it up there. I'm going to pull that over so it matches up with material. Now, I don't want to use center tabs here because numbers are all whole numbers. So I would want to use a tab that lines up on the right-hand side, and that's what it looks like. It looks like a bent arrow pointing towards the left. So it means that it's going to line up on the right and point towards the left. All the numbers are going to go left. So you can see that here. See how the 3 lines up with the 0. All the 1s, 10s, and 100s line up. So I put one up there. I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put one here, understanding that this first tab went to the first tab stop, second one went to the second tab stop, third one went to the third tab stop. Okay, there you go. Now all I have to do is maybe make this bolder. I'm going to carefully go and select that as a semi-bold condensed. Uh-oh, too big. Too big. So let's just all make it smaller. We'll just make it 10 point. That looks a little bit better. Maybe 9.5. That's even better. There. Now, look at the chart. There's a problem. This number's sticking out here. What's that? So somehow there's a mistake here. And the mistake is that we have 2 tab characters and we should only have 1. So I'm just going to hit the delete key, comes back, and my chart is set up. So now I'm looking a lot better, but look at all these extra returns in here. You see the extra returns, and we don't want those. We want to do it in a different way. So I'm going to get rid of extra returns. I'm going to do that through the find and replace. So I'm going to get rid of this pane, and I'm going to go up under edit again to find and replace. What I'm searching for is those 2 paragraph returns. So I'm going to say 1 paragraph mark, 2 paragraph marks. See, it's finding all the double paragraph marks. In fact, here it's weird because it's finding 3, so we may have to do this twice to make that work. Because it's going to find this one, replace it with 1, and then it's going to find 1, and there'll be 2 there. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's what's going to happen. And then down here, I'm going to replace it with 1 paragraph mark. So in 14 places along this thing, it's going to do this. It's going to get rid of all these paragraph returns for me. Now, in this instance, replace all works perfectly. So it did 14 replacements. And now there's that problem again. It's come back to that problem where the 3 became 2. And I'm just going to replace all again. And now we are done with that. Okay, I'm going to close that, open up my style pane again. Now, if you look through the document, you can see that things are just like you can see the differences, but it would look a lot nicer if we put some more space around things. So let's try this. It doesn't matter where the document I go, as long as I got the right style. So on this one right here, I am going to, under paragraph format, I'm going to put space before of 6 points. And you can see that that looks better, right? All I have to do to apply it to all the other subheads is go over here to where subhead 1 is, and then I just say, I click on the little arrow and I say update to match the selection. And look at, they all change. I'm going to grab the body copy, and you can see over here the blue around that says that's body copy over on the style pane. I'm going to go up under paragraph and I'm going to put 3 points of space before. Oh, guess I actually have to enter it. 3 points before. And then I'm going to update that style. Update the body copy. Now, since I'm updating the body copy, it's also going to update the bullet. So the bullets will also have 3 points of space before. Let's see if that's true. We've updated, and then let's look at some bullets, and the bullets are all spaced out. Uh-oh, what happened here? This happened because this was all based on a style, and I didn't clear the formatting, and that was the problem. This is what happens if you're not careful. So this was a body copy. Remember, we assigned it to the whole document. Because it was body copy and I updated the body copy, this all changed. So what I have to do, I'll have to do it again. What I have to do is I got to go back here and say clear the formatting so that there's no formatting. And now I can go and quickly fix it. Myriad Pro condensed. I'm going to make it 9.5 type. I'm going to indent it. I'm going to make the first 2 lines Myriad Pro semi-bold. I'll get the style of I'll get the tab of a center tab. I'll put it over here. I'll grab this. And I will get that tab, which is the right tab. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of this material just to make it look nice. I'm going to put a little bit of space before this one. And this is just tweaking now. You're just starting to make it look nicer. I'll put 3 points before on that one. Maybe I'll put 3 points after each one of these 2. Yeah, that looks nicer. I'm going to indent this a bit so it looks like it's something to do with the chart, and I'll indent this side a bit. And yeah, I think that looks a little better. I think it's line it up with a natural line up here. Okay, there we go. That looks nice. See how fast we were able to fix that? But you have to understand that what happened was I had a style attached to it, and when I updated the style, it reapplied the style to this area. So I have to make sure that I clear the formatting off of that area or make it into another style or something, but like make it into maybe a normal style. But I usually just clear the formatting, and now it has no formatting. It's just normal style, and it's not going to get changed. Okay. All right, let's go up to the top and deal with the top here. So you can see that this is looking much nicer. Oh, introduction. Should have been a subheading. There we go. This area here, I'm going to unindent. I'm going to clear the formatting on this one too, because if I don't want this to change, like I want this to stay the same from here on in. I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to a maybe a regular right now, because I'm going to make it fairly large, and we'll see how it looks as we go here. I'll make it 20, 24. Yeah. I don't like the shape of this. So I'm going to do something first, though, just so I can demonstrate what this does. I'm going to put a space after this of 20 of 20. So I have some space in there to put a line in, maybe even 24. So at every paragraph return, it's going to put a 24 return. So if I want to put this on the next line, if I hit return, see there's 24 in there. So I either got to take it off or do something. But I'm going to show you that there is another thing called soft return. So I'm going to take off those returns. And I'm holding down the shift key on the keyboard, shift, and I'm going to hit return. And you see that? That is a soft return. It means, or it's called a forced line break. It means that it pushes it to the next line, but it keeps it part of the same paragraph. And that's the reason you don't have 24-point space after, because this is still all one paragraph right now. And then if I go here and I hold down the shift and I hit return, this is still all part of one paragraph. The thing is, though, is that I find the spacing is too much in here. It's called the leading or line spacing. It's just too much. So I'm going to grab all this. I'm going to go up under Format the Paragraph. And you can see here that, it's one paragraph. It's got 24 points of space after. And this is the line spacing. Right now it's single. So it's been set by the computer at about 20%. I'm going to say I want to set this exactly. So it's 24 points. And since there is no descender, like these aren't going to bump into, like there's nothing going up, no ascender is going up, it's going to bump into a descender. I can set it really close together. So maybe 22 points. And you can see, oh, that might be too much. Don't worry about this. That'll print properly. People sometimes freak out about that, thinking it's not going to print, but it will. Let's say 24. That looks about right. And maybe a semi-bold. So now here's where I can go and play and say, do I want this like heavier? I don't want it too heavy. Maybe semi-bold. That looks pretty good. Okay. Now I'm going to start to put in some graphics and stuff on the piece because I think I have the piece looking pretty good now. Like the actual type is pretty good. And as you saw, I work with the type first and then I go after the graphics after. Okay. Oh, maybe this. These look a little too big. The bullets look a little too big. Let's see what they would look like if they were 1 point smaller. And maybe if we're 1 point smaller and maybe indented on this side a bit. I like that look. All I need to do is now update my bullet to match that look. And look at, they all change throughout the entire document. Down here, they're going to be changed. And that's a nicer look. So there you go. How fast you can just look at something and go, oh, you know, I need that changed. And since you've applied styles, it's a lot faster. I'm going to insert a line here. I'm going to go here to line. So I go under insert, I go to shapes, grab the line. The key to drawing the line is once I select the line, I should get this little icon. If I just do this, it won't go straight. But if I hold down the shift key, so I'm going to let go here, delete this line. I'm going to go back again. I'm going to say insert a picture, insert a shape, and I'm going to get the line one. I'm going to hold down the shift key before I start drawing. I'm going to hold down shift, and then I'm going to click the mouse button down. I'm going to draw the line across and let go of the mouse button first, and it draws a perfectly straight line. Now, if you want the line to move up and down, you can just use the up and down arrows on the keyboard, and they'll move up and down for you in a very small amount. All right, let's see how we put a picture in now. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to say insert. Now I can do it from here, insert picture from file, or I can go to insert here and say picture from file. It's exactly the same. So I'm going to say picture from file. And now I have to go and find this piece I'm working on. So let me see if I can find it because I have a lot of stuff. And this is the file I'm going to be working on right here. So I'm going to get this figure one and I'm going to insert that one somewhere. Now, if I just do this, it goes there, right? I don't want that. I want to go down here and it's going to go in here somewhere. So I'm going to click anywhere in this paragraph and I'm going to insert picture from a file and I'm going to get that figure one. Now, right now, it's an inline graphic. Means that it's going to move with the type, which I don't want, right? So I'm going to double click on it and I have to go to text wrap and I say tight. And that means that it puts it in front of the type or with the type so that it moves with the type, I mean. So I'm going to put it over here. If I click out, you'll notice that I got a problem. You see this looks like the paper blends into the photo and down here where the snow is and here. I don't want it to do that. I want you to know that this is the steam coming out and that this is a lens flare from the sun and this is snow, right? That's what I want you to know. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to go here, over here, and I'm going to go to line and I'm going to say I want a solid line around it. Now, I want the line to be quite thin, 0.5 point or 1 point would be good. 1 point would be fine. And I'm going to make that line black. You can make it any color you want, but I'm going to make it black. Okay, I made the line, but you can see here that a little bit of the picture is not there, right? So I need to crop this photo. So I'm going to double click on the photo. I'm going to go to crop. Okay, here's the thing about crop. There's 3 different icons here. See this icon? The arrows pointing in 4 directions? That moves the picture within the crop. Okay? If I move over, I get a little arrow. I get a little like almost like a T on its side, and that actually controls the crop bars. So I can crop the photo in like this. Okay. And then if I go out a bit more, like to here, if I go out here, it controls the picture within the crop. So I can move it around. And what we would use that for is, let's say I crop this in and I crop this up a little bit, and then I can decide how I want the picture to appear inside of there. Okay, so that might be good, right? And then I turn off the crop, and now I've got the cropping done. Okay, I'm going to show you a little trick here. You can't do it from the side like this. Your picture becomes, remember, Command Z is undo. Your picture becomes out of proportion. So you always have to make sure you go from the side. Now you see down here, I have figure 1. I'll grab that whole line. I'm going to make it italic. Make the whole line italic. Okay. And I'm going to push it over to the right-hand side here. But I want that figure to come down to it, so I'm going to do this. I'm just going to make this large enough so it kind of sits on top of figure 1. And it's the crop that's a problem, right? So let me see if I can... Oh, I got a problem, right? Right? So what I could do is there's all sorts of things I can do. I could move this up. I could uncrop the photo. I think that actually might help, uncropping the photo, especially up and down. So let's see if that helps. Okay, turn off the crop. I'm going to pull it down a little bit. Oh, it never works, right? So here's how I would do it. I would simply take this line. If you have this problem, take that line, cut that line, cut it out there. Go here, hit return, and paste it in there. Paste. And then take out this extra return here. Oh, what style should that be? Go to the style. That should be body copy, so we get the indent. And now my figure 1, 2 gets done. I could actually maybe even size this down. All sorts of things to do here. That might look better. Maybe not so big. So I have to remember that for later. Okay. All right. So my next graphic is down here. I'll do the next graphic. I'm just going to insert picture from a file. I'm going to get figure number 2. I'm going to double click on it and go up and make sure that the text wrap is tight. It is huge, so I'm going to click on it and get to the corner. I'll move it up here. Get to the corner and size it down. Maybe like this. All right. I have a little problem. This is the next page. See that line break? That's a page break right there. I want that to be up here, right? So I have to figure out how to get a little more type in there. You see, it comes up there. So what I might want to do is just crop this photo maybe sideways. So I'm going to crop it. I'm going to click on the crop. I'm going to crop it in this way until that works. And then I'll crop it up a little bit. I'll turn off the crop and see if that helped. Nope, I got to crop a little more. And then I'm going to crop up the bottom a little bit so I have room to stick this thing under. All right, but then this figure number 2 is going to get pushed over here. It's going to become 9 point. It's going to become italic. Look at that. So on a whole, I think I've completed this document. You can see that the document looks pretty good. No big issues. And that is how you do a bit of a longer document with some graphics and using style sheets that'll make your life a lot faster and a lot easier. I hope that helps. I'm Paul Dayball from Niagara College.